Real Madrid should hijack the deal for Bruno Fernandes. Today, I am going to attempt to convince you why Real Madrid should try and scupper Al Hilal's deal. First of all, if you've been keeping up with the news, you will know that Al Hilal believe that they can sign Bruno Fernandes to the tune of 100 million and that Bruno Fernandes would receive astronomical wages to the tune of a reported 200 million over the course of 3 seasons. I believe that we should step in and take him. Okay, first of all, I'm going to try and dispel some misconceptions and some arguments as to why we should maybe look past him. The first one, the elephant in the room, his age. He's 30 years of age, he'll be 31 in September, and a lot of people say, quite understandably, that it's too old, that we should be looking younger. And here's the thing. When you think about a Bruno Fernandes and you think about his age, you inevitably make the comparison to someone like Eden Hazard, for example. Eden Hazard arrived at Real Madrid when he was 28 or 29 years old, and everyone knows what happened. His time in Madrid will never be considered a success because he spent most of his time injured, and when he did play, he didn't look bothered. He did not look like the player that played for Chelsea. He was a shadow of his former self. He didn't go past players like he once did, and he found himself out of the team. But this is different. Bruno Fernandes is a player who is a consummate professional. He rarely misses games for Manchester United. He's got an extraordinary injury record history. Touch wood, obviously. But even there, you cannot legislate for a career-ending injury or a season-ending injury. Just ask Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard had an amazing injury record at Chelsea, and then he comes to us and he gets that horrific challenge in the Parc des Princes against Paris Saint-Germain, and suddenly he's never the same again. That can happen to any player at any age. Even the likes of Florian Wirtz has had an ACL injury in the past. But there is a huge difference when it comes to professionalism. When Eden Hazard arrived at Real Madrid, he arrived overweight. This is not how you come to your supposed dream club. This is not how you demonstrate professionalism. And Bruno Fernandes has demonstrated this throughout his career. He turns up. He rarely misses those games. Okay, the next one. Does he fit in our team? Of course he does. He provides the creativity. Given that Manchester United have experienced such mediocrity over the last few seasons, and let's even take this season in particular, despite the fact that Manchester United won absolutely nothing and finished, 16th, 17th in the league, he still managed to score 19 goals and provide 20 assists. Those are numbers that would be incredibly welcome as an injection of creativity in our midfield. We do not have that currently. Yes, Bellingham chips in with goals. Valverde scores the odd screamer from about 1,000,000 yards. But we haven't got someone constantly probing, someone looking for those openings, like a Pedri, for example, at Barcelona. A player like that. And we all believe that that player could be Arda Güler. But he's not there yet, I don't feel. And certainly not at the level where he can deliver that consistently for Real Madrid. I may well be proven wrong on that front, and I hope that I am, because I love Arda Güler as a footballer. But here's a player in Bruno Fernandes who does this season after season after season. It's what he does. It's what he brings to the side. In terms of the fee, 100 million, it's a lot of money. It's Galactico money. So I need to compare him to alternatives, because if you're going to spend that amount of money, there are other players that you could buy instead, correct? So the other players that are in that bracket, the likes of William Saliba. We've talked about William Saliba. If you can get him, you get him. But I do not believe that you get him out of Arsenal this season. I do not believe that they let him go. The next one, Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez is significantly younger than Bruno. However, the difference in terms of quality is night and day. Bruno is a player that puts the team on his back and carries them kicking and screaming. Enzo is the player who has found himself in and out of the side, doubts about whether he can cope with the pace of a league. There's a lot of room for development, yes, and there are signs of progress, yes, but he's not the finished article. And when you're looking to bounce back, when you're looking to create a reaction and go and chase the standard, which is Paris, let's be honest, you want someone closer to the finished article. Leadership. When you think about leadership, Bruno Fernandes is the captain of Manchester United, and this is a divisive one because a lot of people believe that he does not deserve that title. They believe that he's a bit too whiny, that he's a bit petulant at times, and I would agree. I can't stand his expression. I wish that he would lighten up a little bit, but by the same token, you cannot deny the fact that he is hell-bent on winning, that it frustrates him having to be surrounded by such mediocrity. He is a natural winner, and it almost reminds me a little bit of Cristiano Ronaldo. He will not tolerate anything less than 100%. And I also think that it comes with something else, because when we talk about age, it can be a double-edged sword. If you look around the Real Madrid dressing room, it's predominantly quite young at this point. When you look for the elder statesmen, you've just let Luka Modric and Lucas Vazquez walk out the door. Those are huge players. And you've got Dani Carvajal, but besides Carvajal, who else is taking on those leadership responsibilities in the dressing room, giving those team talks? Alaba, he spends most of his time injured, so I'm not expecting a lot from him. Is he really the shining example that you want when he can't keep himself fit? I don't think so. So maybe you look for some sort of example, some sort of player that gives everything 100% of the time, that lives and breathes that football team. I believe that Bruno could give that, because that's exactly what he's shown for Manchester United. I'm just going to go back to the issue of the transfer fee, because there's two more points that I want to make on that front. Number one, a lot of the time when we talk about a transfer fee, it's something that's paid in instalments. If you take £100 million, if you pay that over the course of 5 years, would you really not take Bruno for 20 million? If he was offered to you for a season? You probably would, because he'd elevate the quality of your team significantly. And the final point that I want to make is about the alternative that I've talked about before. He's my preferred option. It's Florian Wirtz. And in my opinion, Florian Wirtz is the best in class. He's got the youth on his side. He's very familiar with our new manager. He is an elite footballer. He delivers the numbers that Bruno delivers every single season. He's got all the promise in the world, and he could get better. And you know that my thoughts are, if we can get him, we should get him. And there's still a chance. After all, it's reported that Liverpool's second bid of €130 million still hasn't been accepted. So there is a possibility that Real Madrid go at the Club World Cup, that Xabi Alonso realises we are extremely lacking in that midfield. I need something more. I need Wirtz. And it's very possible that we go back in for him. And I say go back in for him. I have no idea if we've gone in for him previously. But I would hope that we would be at the table asking the questions, seeing if it's a concrete possibility. But if it's not a concrete possibility, if he is indeed going to go to Liverpool, if he's got his mind set on that move, then you're asking me, do we sign Bruno Fernandes over the likes of an Enzo, maybe a Stiller? Yes, is the answer. Yes, by a million miles, yes. Because this guy provides you so much more in terms of quality. He will give you another leader in the dressing room. He will give you a clear injection of goals and assists every single season and a winning mentality. And that to me is a recipe for success. If you do agree with these thoughts, or maybe you disagree profoundly, please let me know. I'm always happy to have the discussion with anyone in the comments section. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Take care.